You are now tuned into Cold Coffee Culture, where we operate at the intersection of tech, culture, and dope shit. I'm Koi Charisma, and today you're watching The Timeline.
That's dope.
The Timeline is a series where we take things from the internet that spark interesting conversation and have said conversation. And on today's docket, we got which rappers belong here. Now, seeing this on the internet, I instantly think, okay, you have Kendrick, J. Cole, and you have Drake. So if they're saying who belongs on this Mount Rushmore, I'm assuming they're talking about who belongs on the Mount Rushmore of the 2010s. Now, when I seen this, a bunch of names start coming to mind instantly, right? So, but before I get to those names, I was in the comment section and I was seeing some names that people were throwing out. Now, I want to get that out of the way. Now, some people were saying Kanye, some people were saying Jay-Z and whatnot. Now, I'm going to say I'm taking Kanye out of the conversation. And the reason why I'm taking Kanye out of the conversation is because the bulk of his discography, the bulk of his run was before the 2010s. Even though he put out some amazing music in the 2010s, he did. The bulk of his run was before the 2010s. So I feel like that completely null and voids him from the argument. Same thing with Jay-Z. Just because you're putting music out in the 2010s doesn't mean the 2010s is your era. You can operate outside your era. Now, granted. Now, I have two honorable mentions, okay? Because I've gotten the list together. I have two honorable mentions. And that is Rick Ross and that is Pusha T. Now, let's start with Rick Ross. Rick Ross has put out so much music in the 2010s, even though his career started in 2006. The reason why I feel like Rick Ross is in this conversation is because these people, Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole, don't feel like his peers. I feel like Rick Ross is just operating in his own lane. That's just how I feel. Two, Pusha T. Pusha T's solo career was in the 2010s thanks to Kanye taking a chance on him. And he has delivered project after project after project that has been on an incline, and every project gets better. I just feel like he's not big enough to be the fourth person on the actual Mount Rushmore, even though he can probably rap with the best of them. So putting those two aside, let's get to the list. The obvious qualifiers, okay? We got Big Sean, Wale, Meek Mill, Childish Gambino, Kid Cudi, and Future. Those are the people I think who are in contention for the fourth slot. And Nicki Minaj. If I didn't say Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj. I want to start with Big Sean, right? Because like when those three artists started out, Big Sean was right there. He was right there, dude. Like he was right there. You would think that Big Sean would have taken that spot so easily, but he didn't. Because even though Big Sean has the rapping ability to be with the Coles, the Kendricks, and the Drakes, I think one thing that holds Big Sean back is that when Drake, Cole, and Kendrick, the other three, was putting out some of their best work around 2013, 14, he put out Hall of Fame, which is kind of a very forgettable project overall and a very forgettable project in his discography. And then he kind of followed up with the, I think it was Dark Sky Paradise in 2015 after that, or 2014, I think. And then he kind of got some traction back, but I feel like 2013 gap, he never truly closed after that. When his contemporaries were putting out memorable music, he was putting out forgettable music, and I feel like that put him out of the race, to be honest. Even though I feel like he has out of all the people on the list, the best rapping ability out of all of them. Next, we have Wale. Wale is very interesting because the first half of the 2010s, he kept a radio single on the radio. Like he was radio heavy, girl heavy. Like his singles was very female oriented, and I feel like he kept that on lock. He had that on lock for the first half of the 2010s. But now I could be wrong. I feel like he has no real standout projects like his contemporaries do, and honestly, I don't think that's the reason why he probably wouldn't be on the Mount Rushmore. I feel like more than anything, the thing that affects Wale is his branding. And I feel like it's not his fault. I feel like Wale just fell victim to the internet, and the internet just deciding we don't like Wale. Wale's corny. Wale's this. Wale's that. And honestly, I don't feel that way about Wale, but I feel like I don't know how that snowball effect happened and how that came to be his brand of Wale being corny and sensitive and we don't like him. I feel like that just attached himself to Wale, and I feel like it just never detached from his brand or from him, and which is pretty silly, but everything counts. I'm sorry. Next we have Meek Mill. To keep it simple, I just feel like Meek Mill is just not equally yoked. I feel like he operates in the street rap genre, and I feel like he holds that down. But I just feel like he doesn't do that to a high enough level for him to be equally yoked with the Cole Kendricks and the Drakes. Nicki Minaj. Now this is very interesting, right? Because Nicki Minaj is undoubtedly the female rapper of the 2010s. But the criticism that most people have, or the narrative that people have about Nicki, is the fact that she didn't have any competition. Like, it wasn't no other female rappers at the same level as her, especially getting the Lil Wayne stimulus package. So it's just like, she is dope. She is amazing. She does have definitely one of the most iconic verses of the 2010s, and she put out dope projects. It's just that, is it rightfully earned? Because she didn't have any contention. Like Cole, Kendrick, J. Cole, Big Sean, Wale, their peers were the competition, and the cream did raise to the top. She didn't really have any competition in the female space. She had competition in just the overall rap space, 100%, but just no direct female contention. I don't know, but I feel like she's definitely a front runner for this, because looking at the female rapping space right now, Nicki Minaj's DNA is completely over it. It's completely everywhere. Her DNA is everywhere. Childish Gambino. This dude is kind of a wild card. Now, this is coming from, I was a diehard fan at one point in time. I was a diehard fan. This dude is kind of a wild card because he definitely had the rapping ability. He definitely had the brand, and he definitely had projects like Cul-de-sac, the EP that made him blow up, Camp, Royalty, Because of the Internet. He had the rapping ability, he had the projects, and he had the brand. The only issue with Childish Gambino that I see is that after Because of the Internet, can you really categorize his projects as rap? Can you? I feel like there's an argument there that you really can't. I don't want to say too experimental, but I feel like he leaned more to the alternative R&B side, more so than the traditional rap side. And I feel like he has so many different things going on with him being a comedian, him being an actor, that rapping just wasn't on his this wasn't in the front running of his mind, to be honest. I feel like he was just like, this is one of the things that he did. I feel like if he just focused on music, I feel like Childish Gambino would probably be the fourth one, or if not, a front runner for that. But honestly, even if he did, would he be the fourth? Because he's so tightly coupled to the style that Drake does, and he obviously doesn't beat out Drake. Does he get that slot? I don't know, because I feel like that space, that mind space that he operated in, Drake already took care of it to a certain degree. I'm not saying they're too tightly coupled, but that's just something to think about. All right, so these last two it's gonna get real difficult. It's gonna get kind of hard. Honestly, it's gonna get hard. All right, so we got Kid Cudi, because I thought of him probably the third name I thought of, Kid Cudi, right? Now, he is one of the most influential and innovative artists of the 2010s, Like Man in the Moon 1, Man in the Moon 2, was it Cudi? Like his projects, Satellite Flight, like this dude, his DNA is everywhere. Like, if you look at any rapper now, you're going to see some inkling of Kid Cudi. And he did that with like 3 to 4 projects, debatably. The only hindrance that I have for Kid Cudi is that after Cudi, and kind of Cudi to be honest. No, I'm sorry, not Cudi. After Satellite Flight, he released projects. He did. I checked. He released he released projects like 2 years after each other, but he just felt absent. Like he just felt absent. And like, is that because the project wasn't good? Is that because he wasn't collabing? Like he just felt absent. Unlike his contemporaries, he just felt absent. But that beginning first 3-4 albums was so influential that you have to talk about the dude. It was really just 2 albums that he felt kind of absent on. So Satellite Flight came out in 2014. Then he followed with Speeding Bullet and Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. So those 2 projects were forgettable unless you were a diehard Colt Cudi fan. You didn't really hear about Kid Cudi after Satellite Flight, honestly, until Kid Sees Ghosts in 2018, and that's because he reunited with Kanye. Let's not forget about that. It was less about Kid Cudi and more about the fact that, oh, Kanye and Cudi's back together, and when they get back together, they make magic. So it wasn't just Cudi on his own merit. So honestly, Kid Cudi didn't really feel present between 2014 and 2018. That's a 4-year gap. But the Man in the Moons, Man in the Moon 2, and the Cudi, oh man, that shit was good. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then he did follow up with Man on the Moon 3 in 2020, which was, off the title alone, was highly anticipated, but it just didn't hit like I thought it was going to hit or how it should have hit. I don't know, maybe all the kids that liked him are not depressed anymore. But I feel like Kid Cudi is definitely a front runner because his DNA is everywhere. Now, last but not least, we got Future. Okay? We got Future. Now, I feel like this dude, I feel like Future might be the one to take that slot, right? Because just like Nicki, just like Kid Cudi, he has DNA everywhere, right? Like Nicki with her DNA with most female rappers now, Kid Cudi with his DNA with rappers now. I feel like Future takes it a step further, right? He's a front runner. He was the leader of a subgenre that took over the 2010s, which is trap. You know, like people sound just like him. Like he put out one of the best trap albums ever, which is Dirty Sprite 2, which I think he recorded in like 10 days or something like that, something crazy like that. You know, I'm like, if this dude released so many different anthems, if he was a front runner of a subgenre, he was a flag bearer of a subgenre, does that not give him the slot? Does it not? You know, I feel like it would have to be honest. And I think so. You know, I feel like it really comes down to Kid Cudi, Future, and Nicki Minaj. I feel like it's those 3 that really can take that 4th slot on the Mount Rushmore of on the Mount Rushmore of rap in the 2010s. You have Nicki Minaj and her influence on just female rap overall. You got Kid Cudi with his influence on so many different rappers and having people play and experiment with different sounds. Then you have Future, who is a pioneer in a completely different subgenre. You know, it really comes down to those 3 people. Like you can mix and match, or you can switch out whoever you want or who you prefer. But like I don't have a definitive answer. I feel like it really comes down to those 3. And if I had to pick, I would say Future because the subgenre aspect I feel like is really, really important. I feel like it's really important, honestly. I really feel like it's important. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment, like, subscribe, and comment below who you think should take the 4th spot. This is the timeline brought to you by Cold Coffee Culture. I'm Corey Charisma. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.